Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm going to show you how to take this watercolor of a very easy, colorful line and turn it into a really fun acrylic painting. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hey guys.
He is going to be tracking me with the cameras, making sure we have sound. It's been a minute since we've been here. Did you miss us?
Oh yeah.
So this is what I really wanted to definitely translate into acrylic, and today I'm going to be using a really fun thing. This is just 5 colors. I think sometimes we get this sense that we've got to have like a lot of paints and a lot of colors, and you know me, I'm an enabler when it comes to paint shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will enable the paint. I'm not good for your budget in that way. That's why I got to teach these art lessons on YouTube for free. But this is the set I'm going to be demoing today by Holbein. In a sense, you can say that Holbein is sponsoring this video because they've been really supporting us and you guys lately. Not like so much like directly financially, but in like helping us get out there and get paint when we need to and do things like Made a Con, and we're really appreciative.
Yeah, they've
And I just
really.
what sorry.
I was gonna say they've just really facilitated our ability to get quality paint to you guys in an affordable way. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, they made it possible for us.
Yeah.
They understood our artistness. We're
Yes.
like,
They.
artists, help us. They're really helpful. I definitely want to say thank you. And super excited to be sharing this with you. I think it's going to be fun to see how this translates and how just a few colors can make a lot happen on your canvas. So if all you have is your magenta, your yellow, your blue, but use any colors you have. You could use phthalo blue, you could use cad yellow, you could use quinacridone magenta. It doesn't have to be these exact colors. And remember, John's going to have some advice when I'm hair drying or anything about like purchasing carefully, especially when you're on Amazon, making sure you're purchasing from like an authorized vendor like Dick Blick.
Mm.
So you get a really good price. You should not, I have it in the description what you should not pay over and all of that on that type of paint. So just keeping an eye on the markets and trends and looking out for you guys. I've got my museum series panel just aboard by Ampersand because they helped us too. And I now have extras to paint on, so I feel really lucky. I'm going to open that up. I really like these because they really help show color when you're trying to do a project that's colorful or whimsical like this. They lean into it and really help you succeed. So I'm pretty excited about that. Boom, boom, boom. So this is all ready to go. Oh, fresh and ready to go. Now, there is a traceable. Description below, materials, description below. We're not going to be using a lot of brushes. We're not going to be using a lot of colors. Everything, description, where I like to hide it in the description below. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. So I'm going to put this over here so I can kind of sketch this in again and get the same sort of general feeling about him. Get it really close. Again, you guys have a traceable, so don't be too stressed about that. I'm going to come over about, just about 2¼ inches, and then I'm going to come down about 4¼ again, like right about there. That's about where I'm going to put his little eye. And so when you're doing a lion eye, you're going to want to make sure you come up on a nice kind of steep upward angle and then really slope down. They have a beautiful slope. I think one of the big mistakes that we sometimes make as artists when we're painting lines is we paint them with a cat's eye, and they actually have a very different eye than that. I'm going to come up here diagonally and just loosely. This is kids chalk. You can get this like drugstore. I just got the colored kind so you guys could see it. I'll put this here somewhere. Oh, you've got a nice little ear. Now the nose I'm going to bring down to about this space right here. So if this is the halfway point of the canvas, I'm going to come down a little bit further. And I come down and go a little bit of nose here. Bring it up. These guys have big noses because they got to smell, all the nummy things in the savannah that they can eat. Which is real cute if you're not one of the things that they're eating today. Probably less cute if you're a gazelle. I'm going to bring the line right down and give him a nice big little area. There's going to be a nice little chin here. Lots of fur. Lots going on. Bring the bridge here like this and the second one there to shape. Just sort of to help get that sense of where that nose is going to be when we do this in acrylic. And we're going to be doing this super loose. So, feel like you can be chill. That should be no problem. So I think we have a very nice basis in. That's really all it takes. Hey, That's really all it
I was
takes.
fixing the traceable ink.
It's okay. That's really all it takes on this to get this guy in. And we'll just start out. I'm going to just use pretty much with the exception of the detail work in the eye and a little black lining where I've got to get a really fine particular line. And my plan is to just use this brush and this brush for this painting. This is the challenge I had set for myself. But you can just paint in whatever way that makes you comfortable at home.
Mm.
In any way. And before I begin, I got to put a wish in.
Oh, yes.
Okay, this one I've got to put in. This is near and dear to my heart. I was just talking to a family member, somebody that I love, and she's lived her entire life with a disability. She's sight impaired. And she was telling me about some of the things that has been said to her over the years, especially since she dealt with life before the American Disabilities Act. And so this is when I said it's my only wish on this canvas, which is that all people are treated as if they're valuable and deserve respect.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Just for sure. I won't get into all the stuff she told me, but I felt like that very strongly on my heart. So I want to share that with you. Let's put that into the universe that we see the world change where everyone matters and everyone is treated with respect. And the way they live their life is the most important thing about them when we're making decisions about how we relate to people. I just think it's super critical. All right, I'm going to get my brush in here. Something I found out at Made It Con, missed you guys so much for this, is that there was an actual number of drops I could figure out in my brush. So if I dip my brush in the water glass and drag off, it's a 2-drop brush. And I want 1 to 2 drops so that when I'm trying to thin this, it's 2 to 3 drops. So the brush carries 2. And if I take just the tip or toe of my brush in, that's 1 drop. I'm going to add a little white to my yellow here. I want it to just be a little bit lighter and creamier. And I'm going to come above my blue chalk. And this is going to, the blue chalk is going to blend into my yellow paint, which is why I did my wish in my watercolor brush with yellow. But that's okay because the colors below here are cool and would work with the blue. So I thought, oh, well, that'll be pretty anyway. So I don't need to be that stressed about it. I'm going to just bring this up very, very loosely.
I have to say that ampersand gesso board is incredibly reflective.
Yes.
It
very bright. Is
so
it okay on
so.
the camera?
Well, yeah, I had to back it down just a touch.
Okay, so see how I'm just brushing this up and kind of going loose, and I'm curving the stroke from the nose towards the right on the canvas. Just curving this to the right. Just curving this. And I think I'll go ahead, even though I left a lot of white on my watercolor paper, I'm probably going to, for this piece, cover the canvas. And let everything sort of, you know, and this isn't a canvas, this is an artist board, but cover the surface is what I'm looking to say.
Now,
all right, what?
I was going to say, there's a little surprise from Erlinda in here.
There's a surprise from Erlinda. How are you doing, Erlinda? Hey, everybody, look at my not having to be heated mug.
She said that she's been using your Sherpa brushes here, these nifty little red-handled ones.
Mm-hmm.
But she has an admission. She's been using them in oils. She says that she loves them.
Oh, that's really, when we started this, I didn't want to say these are for oils because I don't do them and we didn't have a chance to have oil artists test them.
I know.
And it's true, brushes may not explode in another media, but that doesn't mean they're for another media. So we used this, we got stuck out, we didn't have any watercolor brushes at Made It Con, and so I had to use these on a watercolor we were doing, and they worked too. So
yeah,
now I could say, well, yeah, I could totally do them. So I'm going to add just a little more of the white onto there and get some more yellow. Maybe 1 drop. That means just the toe of my brush. 1 drop of water to improve flow. And let's come down underneath here and give him some nice, chin hair, right?
Ooh, those are the hairs on his chinny chin.
He has some hairs on his chin. I'll go ahead and maybe just come up a little bit with the yellow on that side. And then I think I'm going to come under the ear and just stroke out with these nice long strokes that will eventually become mane. And we're going to make him a little bit fuller on this piece and even fluffier and more whimsical, as if that's possible. I'm going to come down a little bit and brush down some yellow with a very strong full stroke. See how that's like a very strong full
Oh
stroke?
yeah.
Now I've got yellow here, 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 and here. That's pretty fun. And he's so bright.
He is. I had to tame the
Did you
camera
have to
down
wear
because it was just like,
shades?
whoa, that's some bright. No, I'm gonna say to the people, you really, really, if you haven't had a chance to see real Quins or real like these cadmiums on a board like this in
It's a
person,
joy.
it's
But this
different.
this paint is a joy too. So, but use what you've got,
Yes.
use what you have in your space. I'm going to get my brush wet again, and this time I'm going to get into my blue. So I'm going to load up with my blue pretty aggressively. I'm going to dip into 1 drop of water. That's just the toe, right? That gives me 1 drop. 2 drops. You can see the degree which I'm thinning the paint, and I'll
Oh yeah.
go ahead and grab a little of my white there. And I'm going to come into this nose and I'm going to start painting this space.
I mean,
And I'm going to just
it's just
come into this, and right here, right as I'm coming, like if you think the eye is here, I'm going to come right out from the top of the eye, and I'm going to go right into the yellow with this blue, kind of implying this little hair that we could have going. And let's come around here. And in the acrylic, I'm really going to play a little bit more with the fuzziness, I'm thinking. Use the direction I will go. And I'm going to bring these little brush strokes out long and like let them flow. See how they can kind of do? You could
yeah.
do this with the brown brush. Round brush. You could do this with a filbert. You can use what you have. I am just enjoying what I've got here. And come along the inside of the nose just a little bit.
So incredibly bright.
Yeah, it should be. I want him to be just so bright. We got to wear shades.
It is. It's like I know I keep going on about it, but it's just so incredible here on the monitors.
Yeah, I want to really enjoy the color. What we look at, the things that we paint and the images that we create, they impact us deeply. And I think it's very important that we paint things that lift us up and make us feel good. Super critical in our little lives. Interesting to see how it's just so different from the watercolor, isn't it, at this
Oh
stage?
yeah, it really is.
So I'm going to just pull out a little of the paint. You can see I'm pressing it out of my brush here, getting back into my blue. And I'm going to grab some of my yellow. And that should get me into a nice green. I'm going to come right here and play with this green color. Like under the eye, I might pull some of this under the eye. And just take these long, fun, furry strokes right into the other yellow here. And you can see that this is already starting to happen, that the flow of just the paint is starting to make these things happen. I might come above the eye a little bit and pull some green in and treat myself to some coming right off. Let's go maybe a little bit. Let's get the greens in the blue, but we're going to mix more of the blue, so we've got a darker blue. See how that's almost an aqua?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to just make sure that that is the first kind of thought that I have going on in my little ear over here. And I can always come and get a little white and just make sure that we're playing with these spaces in a way that's colorful and fun. Because we want him to just be like, wow, I'm a lion. Is what I'm feeling.
That's
I
some
feel
definite.
this so strongly. I'm going to rinse out my brush thoroughly. That's a vigorous rinsing out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get my not my quinacridone, it's actually just primary magenta. And I'm going to get a little of my white into it to help it pop so we can really see it in the saturation. And I'm going to come along here and I'm going to playfully just pull some of this through the blue, like you can. And I'm going to work down into this space and start pulling in some of this pink and and green, like you can. I want to imply the hair on everything. How are we doing, babe?
Really good.
How are they doing?
Very, very good.
You guys ready to paint? Probably not. You're like, I didn't even know we were doing it.
And there's everyone was saying thank you so much. They were there. Tina and many of our other community. They've been saying they've been going through Sherpa withdrawal. There's been no live. They need it in the community. They need to talk and chat and connect and
With each
be
other.
Sherpa.
It's important, our little space together.
It is. I like it.
So this underpainting is coming in really easily, I think. It's going really well. Look how colorful he already is. Now I'm going to dip in my water and I'm going to get a lot more white paint because this one I would like to be a very light pink through here.
Mm.
Come under the nose. And again, these are just our first colors that we're playing with. And we'll layer him up. He may even be more colorful than his watercolor counterpart.
Mm.
Just pulling this along and just enjoy it. Pull those strokes along in a really long way. That's looking really good. Rinsing out vigorously. Thoroughly vigorously. Now I'm going to have some fun. And we remember that, in school, that red and yellow make orange. Well, in the case of magenta and primary yellow, that's still true. So we're going to make a nice bright orange. So many fun colors. I think you'd be surprised at how many colors you can get out of primaries. You can make skin tones. You can mix so many colors out of just 3. I'm bringing these strokes, and you can see I'm doing them, and they're very playing with the feeling of the hair. Come through here and around the base of this ear. And because these are modern colors, they're very transparent and so they glaze easily. And then you can see as I bring this orange up over this color, it just makes almost a deeper green.
Yeah.
Which is a fun effect. I'm going to get right into my pink that I had there with my orange. You can see it makes this warm, playful color, and we'll come right through here. Look at that. Just playful. Playing with his little mane. Come around here to the chin. Chin is the chinny chin chin. Right into the pink. And I'll make little short strokes, kind of the direction of the chin hair at first. And then pull it longer as we're going around. I may take some of this darker color into my mixes, just being whimsical. Get some of the pink orange right there. Pull a little white into it. See, it's almost like a peach now. That little hint of yellow and pink and white are really special. You guys think they're special? I think they're special. And I think all of you are special. So, to tell you that is one of the great things about getting to do something like Made It Con is that I get to meet you in person and get to know the people behind the paintings and the wonderful comments online and really get connected in a tremendously real way. Down here, just making little strokes. This is what we're going to be doing the whole way through. Just being playful. Playful with our life.
I
Rinse,
like
rinse,
it.
rinse. Let's do purple.
Okay.
Shall we?
We shall.
Let's take out our magenta and our blue. And in between the two of them, there should be a purple. I'm going to take that a little more into the magenta here, so it'll be a warmer purple. A little more magenta. And I'll get some white to bring it out and let you see it. There it is. Come here. Come down at the top of the nose line. We're going to stroke up a nice little bit right here. Little thin area right here. Underneath with a nice strong bit of purple. Down for the mouth. And just bring that stroke down there to begin talking about his little mouth down here. Go ahead and get a lot more of your magenta into this mix because it's just a fun color. And then let's...
Got to stay away from those unfun colors.
Yeah, I don't want to do no unfun colors. Not doing it today. Not into it. I'm going to come under this area in the eye. Maybe even around, because that seems fun to me here in this context. Down this space, kind of on the nose. Let's play with this purple a little bit through there. Because we can layer him a lot more and really make him even more colorful than the original. Look how much more colorful he is. See the layers? They're so yummy. Let's get a little of our just blue. And maybe we'll smidge into the green, a smidgy smidge. But mostly we would like it to just be blue. Sometimes when I need to get a deeper color out of that blue-green, I can magenta into it. It does some really interesting stuff if you're working with primaries. My color in here, just with the tip of the brush, down the center a little bit. Bring this in, right under here, into that mouth space. Around the eye.
Oh, your feathers have gotten me.
My feathers? Oh, because I have this fabulous hat. This was gifted to me at the event.
It's very fabulous.
It was very fabulous. I'm going back into my ear and defining my ear just a little bit now.
It reminds me of chicken hawks.
Colorful, happy chicken hawks. He would be hunting me if he saw me at the zoo. I'm going to really, 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 really rinse out. Now I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to get a lot of my white into this blue. See how light that is? Because what I can do in acrylic that you can't do in watercolors, you can come back with a very light value and play, can't you? I'm going to take the sky blue here into the ear and around this outer edge. Help define some of that space. Little sky blue. Come along here. A little bit around the eye. And if I want to get brighter blues, I can. But I can play now. Then come smoothly stroke around the nose. And then back into the happy fur. Get some more of my blue. It's so pretty to do.
Now, there's a really good question here.
I've got an answer.
Neil was asking.
Hi, Neil.
Can you ask why she's choosing to place the different color values, the values and colors where they are? Is it because of warm and cold values, or is it just how the brain sees things?
For me personally, I'm in the planes of the face that are more recessed. I'll tend to push them back with cooler values. And in the planes of the face that are in the main and that are coming forward, I'm going to place them in warmer values. A trick that you can really do if you want to try to experiment with that is to take a picture and put it into grayscale. And then take all your favorite colors and put them into grayscale. And then paint based off the scale, not the color. And you find you can do some very expressive, loose, fun things that you might not ever feel brave enough to do normally. I'm going to get some more of this great green. Because green is so fun. Maybe a little white into this green. Let's be playful into here. And we can even take this through the pink. Since green and pink are complements, almost, they're going to pop against each other. Because this is such a warm pink. Even though it's really green and orange are technically the direct complements. These are fun colors to play against each other. Bring that up through here. Curving that stroke up to keep playing. We're still playing with that mane and the chin and the shape of things, aren't we? And he's just getting more and more and more rainbowy. I think he's like really as fun as his watercolor friend. We'll do a little work up here. We'll take a little of our yellow
Yep.
and a lot of our white. See how we're doing? Just a lot.
Yeah.
And let's, play with this space too a little bit, the fur that could be here, the stuff that's happening, and be playful with that as well. A lot of white.
Now the original was in watercolor, right?
Yeah, the original that you're seeing, the reference in the original, I did in watercolor.
And what was your inspiration for that?
The splashy dog,
Oh, you
who
did. That's right.
essentially begins with Stephanie Barlow. Stephanie Barlow's like, I'd like to do my dog making a crazy face when he's shaking off water. And that reminded me of the Iris Scott paintings. And then I was like, what could we do with color burst? And then I did this crazy dog with color bursts, all for Stephanie Barlow. And I was like, I want to do more animals in this way. And so then I did the line and I really liked that. So that's what happened.
Amber was asking.
I'm going to get my pink into my brush while we're talking and my white into my brush while we're talking because I missed everybody. All right. I'm just bringing this pink up in here and trying to make sure that I've got, I want to play with this furriness right here a little bit.
Furriness.
Yeah. So she was asking?
Oh, you answered.
Oh,
You
I
just-
did?
Yeah, she was like, where'd you get the inspiration for all this? And you just totally gave
Oh,
us
okay.
this backstory. That was perfectly it.
Usually there's a few things. It's never just one thing for an artist. I mean, it can be. It's usually not. And then of course, we have to acknowledge that there's a bunch of things that we see in our day-to-day life that can come in and that can inspire us in particular ways. So it's important. I'm going to add some deeper green and then maybe some pops of higher green right here. So I'm going to get my blue over to this and get just another little layer of green. Right through here because I'm feeling it and I want to blend it.
Hi, Melody.
Hi, Melody. Oh, is it Melody Lane?
It is.
Hi, Melody Lane. It was so fun seeing you at MadaCon. That was like such a lovely surprise, and it was really fun to get to be part of that and pretend like I had no idea you were coming and look blankly at May May. She's like, is Melody coming? I'm like,
it was shenanigans afoot.
It was really good.
It was really awesome.
It was very Scooby-Doo fun. I really enjoyed it. I was like, ah. And then, it's really great to be part of a surprise or a secret where the end result is that somebody is just going to be made to be really happy. And I'm really still tripping out over your self-driving car. That's just like too much, girl. You're too awesome.
Tesla rules.
Like totally Elon Musking that out there, aren't you?
See,
being awesome. Unless you don't like him, and then just like whoever you do like, and then apply that.
I too have a Musk. It's just the flamethrower and not the awesome self-driving car.
So I put out a little more yellow. You'll find with projects like this, you'll go through a lot more yellow than other colors. And so that can get away from me, and I put out a little more white. I'm going to get my pink on here again. Make sure my brush is pretty clean. Get a lot of white. Because I want a light pink color. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's a slight bit of yellow into it, so that warms it up into this warm peach. Kind of reminds me of maybe like a Barbie pink.
Yeah.
Along here.
Now, this would
sure
definitely...
there's some nice... You want under the nose because that's where the whisker goes. I'm going to just make sure that there's some smoothness here. It's going to glaze out really well. Yeah, that's going. Yeah, backing up. Oh, see, that looks really good.
I was just actually really looking at that pink. I think that's... No.
I'm going to just get right in here with the darker pink along this nose because y'all have gotten me all to playing now.
These color selections definitely tip this lion into that abstract, right?
Well, I would say he's more like maybe expressionism or pop art. But yeah, he's a bit abstracted in that I'm not representing a lion as a lion is in life. I'm representing a lion as he feels in my heart using colors that are strong and resonate for me in a positive way. So that's the direction I went with him. I'm going to get more into my purple again. So I'm going to pull out my magenta and smidge out a little of my blue. Smidging it a little bit at a time. So what this is doing is it's cooling my magenta with the blue. And I'm going to find a sweet spot as I'm going of just my favorite purple that I'm going to get to play with. I'm going to find some clean white just to bring out the color. So that helps you see it, doesn't it? I'm going to come up to the ear with this, and I'm going to play this color against this teal I have in here.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Isn't that fun? Kind of to represent the darker furry parts of what's happening inside his little fuzzy ear. And let's come back down here again, just make sure that
My camera's not fast enough.
my camera's not fast enough. I'm sorry, I'll go slow down. And I'm going to just pull this little fur into all this beautiful stuff that's happening right here. So
Oh,
we're
that looks
just
so good.
trying to play with those spaces on him, but not, not take it too much. We're just trying to be loose about it and happy about it. Now, I'm going to get into my one small brush. This is a #1 round. So you just want a detail brush that's going to give you a good result in the space that you're working when you feel like you've got some nice control. And I'm going to load in here. Can you see how I'm doing this? So what I do when I'm trying to thin heavy body paint with a small brush is I dip in and I do the swirl, 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 swirl. That's how we get that thinned out enough. And then I go roll, and then I can load easily onto my brush. So if I wanted to come in here and do a nice second coat of paint to kind of, deepen the color inside the nostrils,
Oh yeah.
I could easily do that. Got a lot of control over the result, so I'm enjoying myself. I can even kind of come right here and play with the space in the mouth and the shadow that's happening right there, in a way that makes me happy. Coming down here, I'm going to make sure that I there's it's a little bit rounded at the end of the mouth, and I think that that's an important component of what he's got going on. I'm going to head up towards the eye, John.
Okay. Up, 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 up,
Up,
up.
up, 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 up.
Scrolling cameras.
I'm going to come around this eye, and I'm going to start
Those feathers. You're gonna get me. Oh, there they go.
with just blue.
Oh, I like that blue.
Are we having fun, guys?
Oh, incredibly fun. This is amazing. Everyone's really happy that you've come back and are doing a live. This is very much a nice time. So thank you guys for coming and joining us and, rejoining us here.
I really appreciate it. I really do. John really does. We do. So this is just the pure cyan. I actually have this hair color. I sometimes put in my hair from Ion if I need to brighten my blue back up. I haven't even gotten into the little bit of black paint that I'm going to use at all yet. I'm going to get into my white and just make a very, very, very light blue color. Just to start talking about the center of the eye here. Like you do. It's a nice beginning, isn't it? Coming around. When his eye pops in, it's going to be in so fast it's going to surprise you. There's a couple things that I want to do. I want to get into my purple color that I had worked up over here with the little bit of blue that I had and my pink. Right. And I get some white into that. And I'm going to come along the top of the nose. Are we okay, babe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There,
Just making
someone's asking.
sure that this is nice and refined a little bit. I just want that line to be good. And now I'm going to get a lot more of my white on here. Let's come to the top of it with that lighter color. Get some contrast going. Because we would want a nice little bit of contrast in with that purple, wouldn't we? Somebody was asking what?
Oh, just if we were gonna turbocharge RoboCam, and I was it's like, nope,
Yeah.
we've got a brand new controller on the way for all of the new cameras. So
I'm doing the dip and swirl on the black paint, and I'm going to come and just put the initial. This is not the final black into the eye. This is just an initial to help me space this area as I'm going to come start talking about what's happening here. There we got our nice little line eye happening. If you have too much on there, I had like too much, and that's why I went back.
oh, your
Make
feathers.
sure that the front of that is steep enough. Now in the center, we have this iris, but we want it to not be cat shaped because remember it's lion. So we're We're going to start with
Lions
that.
don't have cat-shaped eyes?
No.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's one of those weird, trippy things
Huh.
where you think they would, but then they don't, and you're like, what?
They got regular eyes, not
They
cat
got
eyes?
regular eyes.
That's crazy. I guess so. That's true. I did never think about it.
I'm going to take this black paint right here and just come underneath. I might down the mouth, maybe a little bit right there, and just underneath this nostril, just a little bit to deepen some of this. See how that just pops it a bit?
Mm-hmm.
We're letting the upper eye dry anyways. I'm going to come right here. Make sure that I've got a nice...
Your feathers occasionally are taunting us.
I'm sorry. I'm moving.
No, you're fine. They're not fine now. But earlier they were taunting us.
Now I'm letting this dry for a second. So while I'm enjoying letting that dry, I'll do some playful work with my detail brush that, I might not have done in the original watercolor.
Where are you going to be playful?
Around the eye. It's still going to be
Oh.
around the eye, maybe up at the ear, and I'm going to be doing it with this pink.
That's a good one.
It's, it's a playful color, isn't it? So I can kind of create that feeling of like fine hairs around here
Mm-hmm.
with the pink, which is really fun. While I'm waiting for it to dry. And I think that's an extra neat, nice little thing. I'll go up to the ear and I'll create just a little bit of whimsy here as well.
Rita loves it in both the watercolor and acrylic.
Sometimes it's important to have something that is playful and light and not so heavy. We've got a pretty big painting weekend ahead of us with the bridge, the Monet from Givenchy, and then the armor. So I was like, we really need something mellow.
Some mellow
Something
fur.
mellow and chill that we can do and enjoy. I'm going to come under there I'm going to take my blue. I'm going to get a lot of my blue. I might add a smidge of yellow into this space just to get that green coming out of the blue. Aqua. I'm going to come under this shadow here and kind of create that shadow. See how I've done on the eye?
Oh.
So we're starting to create that little shadow. I'm going to go ahead and get a lot more of my yellow right there into my blue. Getting into that almost aqua. And I'll know I've got it if I add white to it and I see it. So I'm like, oh, good. There, I'm really into my turquoise. And I can come right here and play with that space. Even around the eye. A little bit of that green fleck happening there. Now let's get just the blue right on there. And let's make sure that we're tapping around this part of the eye with this darker blue. You see how I'm just tapping it?
Oh, yeah.
Just tapping it. And it's creating that little ridge. A trick, if you've got to create a little drama there, is to pull a little black into the blue to even go a deeper value. Now we're actually shading it, aren't we? Like functionally shading it. I'm going to just tap again along that little circle. And that tapping kind of creates that uneven eye color that we are, often expecting in the pigmentation of an eye. That's rather nice. Whoops, I just lost my mic, babe.
Oh, it's okay. I'll come over and fix it. What comes to hands you?
You got it? I don't know. Okay, perfect. A little more of the kind of blue and white space, but it's really light. Like the blue is just so light into it. Like I just touched into my blue to get it. Now we'll come around this pupil with this very, very light color. Just lightening it up. Maybe up a little bit into the shadow. You know me, I love to play with an eye.
Yeah.
It's one of my big jams is like, let's get playful with our eyes. Now, we're going to get right into our black. we're going to take some of this black. See how it's sort of gray? I'm going to leave some of that gray. That gray is really a lucky event right there. I want to take that out. Pupils actually have value too. They're not just black pits. Dip in the water. Go swirl, swirl, swirl. Dip in the water. Swirl, 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 swirl. Roll, roll. Load on the tip. Come right here. Really define. Big cats have very strong lining.
I feel like what you just did with your brush was a nursery rhyme.
Dip, dip, dip. Swirl,
Roll,
swirl,
roll,
swirl. Roll, roll, roll. Load the tip. Right. There we go. Just making sure that that's good. Almost done, believe it or not.
This cat's just purring right along.
Coming together. Now rinse this out vigorously. You don't want any of the black for the next part. We're going to get some of our white and just our white. Right. I'm going to load. Do the roll and load. And I'm going to come right here. And just make a couple of dots along there. And along this outer eye, I'm going to make sure that it looks a little bit like it's wet and it has a little bit of moisture right there. See how that does?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we back out, that's going to make that eye look amazing. And the eye needs to look amazing. I have the white here. And I'm going to just tap an uneven little reflection through that space. And maybe a few down there. Let's see how he looks. Can you see his little glow?
Oh, yeah.
Now, he needs a little bit of that on his nose, too. I don't want his little nose to be too dry. So I'm going to just make sure that I maybe add a little of that right there. Because I think that'll add a little pop to his nose that people will notice and respond to. You can play with him as long as you want. You're not going to take it too far. You're going to just always have fun. Just don't let the colors go gray on you. And that's going to really be about letting everything dry as it needs to before you layer up if you're doing contrast. I'm going to come right here. And I'm going to just give him a mellow, chill signature down here. I want to see it. And honestly, I don't think the white is adding anything, so I might go into my blue for it. See, it's not just that I'm trying to make my signature light or unobtrusive. I'm trying to make it a considered part of the composition. So every line we make on our canvas matters.
Oh, yeah. This has been a really great little video.
Just a happy little, how have you been? Something light to do if you were really wanting to hit a live, but you were wanting it to be maybe a little bit chill and mellow and one hoot. I would say he qualifies. We now have him. I wonder how we did. Should we look? How they're different and how they're the same?
Oh, yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Isn't that wild? How are they different and how are they the same? That's sort of wild.
One of these things is not like the other.
But is. But isn't. But is. But isn't.
Well, that's Sherpa. Awesome.
So that's one of the ways that I might take a watercolor design and then say, how can I take that into an acrylic space? It's also sometimes a good way for me to come up with designs that are chill and simple and not obtrusive and not overwhelming, but still graphically enjoyable and keep our hearts light. Remember, if you're out there in the world and it doesn't matter what you have going on, whether you are, just anything, let's just say all things. Let's just cover it with a big umbrella. You deserve respect. You deserve compassion. You are worthy of love. And I hope you'll stay open to let people who are worthy of you into your life. And if you're out there in the world, put some of that positivity forward. Let's just show each other how kind we can be. I think we can do really good at that. So on that note, be good to yourselves. Be kind and forgiving to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.